Hi everybody. Okay. So ever since the time change, it's kind of weird because I forget I can do streams and it's not that late, but it feels later than it is, um okay. But this is a stream I've wanted to do for a little bit because it's about Christopher Reeve, and I had heard that there was a documentary about his life updated, and it was just completed this year, and so I checked it out, and it kind of has the details that we all already kind of know, but the difference is his kids are in the documentary, whereas before they wouldn't have been, maybe not because they were really young. um okay. I'm going to give you a short bio, and then I'll talk about some stuff in the documentary, and then that'll be it. Okay. Um, so I think y'all know that he became famous for being Superman in the movies. Now, this was different because up until that point, comic books weren't being made into major motion pictures. And there were a lot of naysayers that said, there's no way you're not going to make any money. But he still did it. So, and then, as you all know, Superman 1 and 2, although there were 4 films in the whole series, I guess, but 1 and 2 were the most popular. So he became a household name. Everyone knew who he was. So everyone up until that point, up until 1995, honestly, thought that was going to be his legacy, right? Well, then, on a fateful day in 1995, he was in a horse race, and he was trying to make a jump where the horse is supposed to sit and then jump over the obstacle, and then land right. Okay. Well, for some reason, this horse stopped midway, and so it caused him to kind of fall over the horse, if you will, and he landed on his head. And that would not have been a bad thing, except for the fact that he was 6'4" and a little over 200 pounds. So imagine all that on your head. Okay. So needless to say, he had spinal cord injuries, and ever since then he was a quadriplegic with oxygen and all the other things. Now, this would be catastrophic to most people anyway, but when you put it in context of being Superman and then also being 42 years old, which means that for 42 years you were used to being able to do anything you wanted to do, and now you're confined to a wheelchair and basically dependent on a bunch of people for basic life, daily life stuff. Okay. But luckily, he married his wife in 1992, and when they took their vows, for better or worse, sickness and health, and sickness or in health, um, she really meant it, and she stood by him no matter what. Now, part of the documentary, I'll get to the documentary now. Part of the documentary is their son that they shared together, Will, um, apparently found a page in her diary that said what she felt like when after his accident. And it's kind of sad and poignant at the same time for two reasons, really. Because I think, now this is my opinion, and let me also say that I have no experience when it comes to marriages at all. But I guess I would assume that some people come into marriages with at least a few expectations of what the marriage is going to be like. And I don't think anybody would say, oh, I think, yeah, when so and so happens to my spouse, this is how I'm going to handle it. I don't think that goes through anyone's mind. However, you rise to the challenge and you help your partner and they help you and that kind of thing. Um, okay, so part of the journal entry is I miss the way his hands feel and the way he used to give me a hug. And I'd like to just get a hug from him. And then she kind of relates it as um, she was picking up laundry and she happened to pick up warm towels and she put it to her chest. You know how you might do. And she says, this is a substitute for a hug, but it's a poor substitute. So that kind of gives you a little glimpse into what it was like to have a partner that went through something life altering, how it affects the other person as well. Like, I know, now this I know for a fact. When someone has an illness, a difference, whatever, in life, it affects that person and the family around them or the people around them. And so, whether you mean to or not, everyone's life is altered. So, okay. Some other points in the documentary. Now, I did not know this. I mean, I knew some things, but I didn't know the specifics. Reeve, the son they both shared, lost both of his parents to different things in a matter of a year and a half. And also, keep in mind, he was 15 years old at the time. I mean, I can't even fathom that. You know, losing two people, well, technically three people, because they said he lost his grandmother too, who he was very close to. But basically, being an orphan at the age of 15, and no matter what someone else does or tries to do to make you feel better, no one can replace your parents. Whether you have a good relationship or a bad relationship or a so-so relationship, they are your parents. And your family is your family. So I just felt really bad for him. I mean, as of today, I found out over the weekend also that he just got engaged to his girlfriend, so now they're fiancé. But I try to put in perspective of like he was alone for all intents and purposes for 10 years thereabout, you know. I mean, just think about that for a minute, you know. Okay, and then here's the other part that why I said what I said. Because his father passed away in 2004 from complications from the spinal cord injury, right? His mother died in 2006 from stage 4 lung cancer. And also, I think it's important to note that how she got lung cancer was from secondhand smoke. So, yeah. But it does end on a good note, as good as you can, because you do see all three children grown up and, you know, carrying on with the foundation named for both of their parents. So that's a good thing. And also, it gives you a whole perspective on everything. From the beginning to when he was famous to after when he was famous, but then everyone kind of stereotyped as he's just Superman. So it gives you the whole range of everything. I mean, the documentary is an hour and I think an hour and 40 minutes or something. So it really goes into really detail. So I just gave you a couple tidbits. I hope that if nothing else, this video serves as a reminder to never take anyone or anything in your life for granted because things can change in a matter of a second or a minute. All right. Bye, guys.